Recording option. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ahmed. Good morning, Ahmed. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Ahmed, I cannot hear you. Are you muted? Just speak up so at least we come to know that.
Sorry, the voice is breaking. Please come again.
Okay. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. How about you, Ahmed?
I don't know. I've been maybe disconnected, I guess.
Okay. Okay, so shall we start here? Are we good to
Sorry?
go? Are we good to go? Yeah, Ahmed, can we start the session?
Okay, yeah. Okay, let's start the session.
Okay. So for today, our session agenda is the subledger accounting, how it works in the Oracle. So how the session will be divided? First, we will have the general overview about accounting, means normal accounting, irrespective of the Oracle. If any software, how the accounting will happen, and we will try to link it with the Oracle, how Oracle perform all the basic functions. Okay. So for any accounting transactions, if you record any accounting transactions, we need is okay. So what we need is the first step we need in any accounting software is to pass a journal entry. So how does a journal entry looks like? Can anybody tell me that how should be a journal entry? Okay, and any other information we require? Okay, so this is, I would say, one of the normal accepted journal entry format, right? There will be date, accounting date, where we will try to say on which date this journal entry is passed. Second thing we require is account or any alias. Alias means you might be using some short briefing out, which will be the shorter version of account, okay, or any other names which you are preferred in the organization to use against the account. Thereafter, there can be reference which is used for reconciliations. You may try to reconcile. Normally, in the initial stage, this reference field was used to know whether this journal is posted or not posted. But here we also used to have the source of journal entry, from why this journal entry is passed, invoice number, bill number, it can be any reference number. Then comes the side, it can be debit or it can be credit, both sides are there, and ultimately we have the amount which we enter in the functional currency. You can perform transactions in any currency, but ultimately you will write accounting in one currency. And optionally, declarations, some justification why the journal entry is passed. So this is a normal accepted journal entry. In any accounting software, this is some of the things we will require, right? So now, why do we need to pass a journal entry? So is it that any time I will think, okay, today I will pass entry? Okay, so there should be some. So without any events, we will not pass any accounting journal. So there should be some events. Are you able to see this screen, or you can sit on this side? So accounting events, what we say is the journal entry is only passed when there is some monetary transactions. So there are transactions, but if they are not monetary, then we do not pass the journal entry. Just like hiring an employee, firing an employee. So that is not at all the financial transactions. So for that particular transactions, the accounting events are not tracked. So just to show you some of the examples of accounting events: purchase, sales, receipt, payments. These are the normal accounting events we have. So when I say purchase, what all things I can do in purchase? Yes. So this is one event, but in one event that can be captured, multiple things can be captured. I can purchase for consumables, that's my expenses item. I can have certain services involved, freight charges or any maintenance services, consultation services. So that also can be purchased. Other than this, I can purchase for my inventories, fixed assets, and many more things. Just like this purchase may have the discount, also have the tax, no tax. So other than this, this purchase can be credit purchase, cash purchase. So what I here in the screenshot we show only the debit part, but ultimately on the other sides also there can be multiple lines. It can be credit, so suppliers may become certain portion with the cash. So you can have the cash part also, certain parts you might have adjusted against something. So credit part also there can be multiple things. Other than this, the other event if we talk is sales. So sales, you can also sell the services for the professional industries. This is the main thing. They are rendering the services. So then you can also give certain discount. This service can be cash, bank, asset, item, scrap. So the event is one, but this event can have again multiple type of scenarios within the same event. And receipt payments, the mode of receipt and payment can be different. I can receive cash, I can make the payment in cash, make through the check, bank transfer, credit card, book adjustment. Can anybody explain what is a book adjustment?
Whenever data and credit card will just go to them instead of paying and receiving.
Yes, so instead of making a payment, I will transfer it to some other things, or against any other due, I will set off. Then third party means,
suppose I ask me the sale to Kesha. Instead of receiving money from Kesha, I pay my creditor.
then book adjustment.
So there is actually payment involved in third party, but not to yourself or to the other person.
So here means either if I am a supplier, means payment side, instead of myself, some other person is making a payment on my behalf, or if on the customer side, instead of customer, some of the sister concern of this customer is making payment to me. So I am receiving money, but not from the actual customer, but from the other party. So that's a third party. And then the exchange. Instead of making payment, I'm exchanging some other things. Yes. So that is also receipt payments, right? I have received something and I paid something. So these are one of the few samples of the accounting events. These are not the exhaustive events. Just to understand what is an event, we have highlighted here few things. So based on this accounting rule, what we understand, that there is one event. There must be one event. Based on the event only, we will pass the accounting journal. So Oracle also terms that thing as a events. So just like I say example of sales. So sales is a monetary event. So Oracle also consider that as an event. So when I do sales, how many things can be possible? There are certain examples given, like receivables may be debited. If it is a credit sales, if it is a cash sales, so I can do the cash debit. If some freights are involved, so I will say freight is also debited. If this freight is borne by me, then it is debited. If I'm going to collect it from the customer, then it will be credit side freight. Then the discount, if any discount is given, and I'm not considering the trade discount, I want to show revenue and discount separately to identify how much total discount given. So that discount can be debited. Then the credit side, that can be tax, there can be multiple kind of tax, right? 4% VAT, 5% VAT, like this can be multiple kind of account. Then the revenues, I can sell multiple kind of items. So all this are my journal lines. So in Oracle, for one event, I can have multiple lines based on the different scenarios. So Oracle knows this particular lines as journal line type. So whenever we say journal line type, this means what you are debiting or what you are crediting. So Oracle, all these lines, if you say receivable, debit, credit, so these are journal line type for the Oracle. And again, this line type, you need certain accounts, right? Receivable accounts. So from where system should derive this receivable account? So you can see here, the question is from where the account should be derived.
Is it a function of GLT to tell Oracle that derive this account from here? Does GLT do that?
GLT will tell the conditions. From where the account should be derived, that has been informed by the account derivation rules. So this is receivable line, but receivable from where the account should be fetched, or I give you the simple example, all of you are familiar with the payables. So payables, when I say when I'm matching a PO, invoice match with PO, so from where the expense or the account should come. Here, okay, let's say the liability account, normal. So liability account, from where the liability code combination, entire code combination should come. You may have 4 segment, 5 segment, 6 segment. So all these segments from where it should derive. So I will say whatever is entered on the invoice liability code combination, that you derive. So that is my derivation rule. Line type is liability. So liability is my line type. Whenever the line type is liability, what should be the from where the system should pick account? So it should pick from the liability header line, whatever code combination you have given. You can change this also, that we are going to see in this session. And this liability account is attached to which event? Invoice. Purchase invoice we are talking. So that is, invoice is my event. Similarly, debit memo is my another event. In debit memo also the liability will be there. So in liability also I will say when there is a credit memo with the liability account from where. So then from where the question comes, the answer is account derivation rule. So this is where you say the rules. Okay, I will derive the account from here. Okay, Ahmad, if you have any questions at any point of time, you can raise the question. Okay, Ishad, unmute him. That's fine. Yeah, Ahmad. Hello.
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Okay, no problem.
Okay, so is it fine up till now? Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, so till now what we understood? The journals, journal, and journal will be passed only when there is an event. So in Oracle also there is an event. Below the event there comes a journal line type, and along with the line type we give the rules how to derive the accounts for this line type. So this multiple journal line type. So all this journal line type which we have seen, receivables, debit, credit, all the lines which you have mentioned, freight, tax. When I collect all this together, I group it, and this group is called as journal line definition. So all this line type I will attach and create one group. So grouping this known as journal line definition, and this journal line definition is attached to the event. So there is no direct linkage of event with the journal line type. The journal line type are linked with the event through journal line definition. Okay. So for one event, I can have more than one journal line definition also. Like when you have encumbrance type entries, you have one journal line definition for encumbrance, one journal line definition for actuals for the same event. So say for example the event is Oracle payable invoice. So payable invoice I will do the encumbrance entries also, and I will do the actual entries also. So here I can have more than one line definition also. Okay, so moving ahead. So other things, what we know about event. The journals are and balance rate at what level? So payment I should have debit and credit equal. So within one journal line type not necessary, so both line types should be equal. But at the event level, you must have the balanced journal. So debit equals credit. So can somebody give me an example for this? One or more journals can take place at single event. Can somebody give me one example that event is one, but I will pass one or more journal?
For example, I am selling and the customer pays me half cash and half is doesn't pay later. So it is cash debit is 500, paper 500 to save of the line.
Not talking about line types, we are talking about journals. So line type, fine, agree. But one or more journals.
When you are purchasing discount.
Okay, so what two journals you will pass? So we are talking about normal part. Okay, opening of bank account, is it a financial transaction? Okay, so what two journal entries you will pass? Okay, so it will be cash, the bank account debited to cash account credited. So it's a one journal, it's not two journals.
If we are maintaining the provision for depreciation account, then on sale of the fixed asset, we will transfer the balance of the particular asset from provision to the fixed asset account, and then we take a sale.
So to give you one simple example is like cash sales. Cash sales you say debit cash and credit revenue, but instead you can bring receivables in between. Receivables debit to revenue and then cash debit to receivables. So even though my event is one cash sales, but what I'm doing is I'm bringing receivables in and receivables out just to track what was the movement in this receivables account. I can ignore, but in this case, the receivables event will not be coming into picture. So this is where we can have multiple journals within one entry also. Reimbursement expense paid to employee. In this case, can we have two journal entries? Can you tell me what? So this is like event is one, the reimbursement is done, but the journal entries are passed is two. So there also we can do the two journal entries on the single event. but we need to know that at event level, there will be one currency. You cannot have one journal type of USD and another journal type of INR. So in this case, you will have two different events. Okay. And one more thing which is not written here is the date. My accounting date will be at the event level. If I am having one accounting date, that means there is a one event. If you are consolidating at the period and entry, then it is fine. But if there are certain different event happens, if a person is making payment on different dates, so each is your different event. It's not the one event only. So all this you will have different journals. Okay. So for events, we move ahead. So till now, what we concluded is accounting events are in Oracle also termed as events. Then that is one thing you need to remember, that Oracle does not allow you to create new events. Whatever seeded events are available, you can only use those events. So here by events means these events are linked with the form. So if I am entering into the, say, payable invoice, so Oracle knows that in this form the event will take place is invoice, and you have making a debit memo, so that is a debit memo event. I cannot create one more my own, say, the invoice type and make a new event. So that's no longer a new event. So that will be the same event. So I cannot create my own events. So then we say this events. Oracle, what does it? It groups together and make one application. So you can see the examples how the events are grouped. In the payables, you have already done this events, right? And accounting for it. So invoice, payment, debit memo, prepayment applications. All these events are grouped into which application? So whenever you are using one application payable, these are all the accounting events you will get. And another example of assets, so I say addition is one event, retirement, revaluation, depreciation. So this is what one logical grouping has been done by the Oracle for the events. So once the events are grouped together, this is called accounting application definition. So this grouping is done at application level. So for one application, you can have different definitions. Why? Because I can have anything change at the bottom layer. Means liability account for one event in one application may be different, for another may be different. And now we move ahead. These applications, receivable, payable, assets, cost management, all combine together and create one subledger accounting method. So all these applications are linked in one subledger accounting method. So here I have written same application cannot be attached twice. So what do you understand here?
This regards if I have a payables application which has already some event attached to it, and then I cannot have another payables again that went to the payables application which has any sort of event. Okay.
To just clarify, here I am talking about linking of application with subledger accounting method, not with the application with event. So events together we created one application accounting definition for one application, that was for payables. So now in one method, say I am using one method that is encumbrance approval, or my name I will say Hitendra encumbrance approval, Hitendra approval. In this, for payables I can have only one accounting definition. For the payables again I cannot have two application definitions. So at the same time, if I have two, then the system will get confused. If the invoice is received, which application method should be used against payable? The first one or the second one? At any given point of time, against payable application, you can have only one accounting definition. So if you want another rules, you need to first endate the first application and then you need to go to the second application method. This is subledger accounting methods you attach to the ledger. So for that ledger, the accounting will be done as per the rules mentioned in the subledger accounting method.
So at the instance level of only one application will be attached.
There is no instance. See, the accounting is done as per the ledgers, right? And to each ledgers you assign subledger accounting method.
But as there is the same application, they must be attached first.
In the same subledger accounting method. In the different application, you can have the different application.
We want to have the different Hitendra Payables application attached with some of the extensions, which are attached to the definition of the table. So can it be twice at that point of time?
See, there can be multiple accounting application definition, but in one subledger accounting method, only one application accounting method will be used.
So under that application only, I want to attach my definition.
So in your subledger accounting method, you can assign your accounting application definition. But it doesn't mean you can create only one. You can create multiple application accounting definitions, but on one subledger accounting method, only one should be used. So these are independent. You can have multiple subledger accounting method, but only one subledger accounting method can be attached to one ledger. So same accounting method can be shared between multiple ledgers. So let's move to the hierarchy now. So the topmost first income is subledger accounting method. To subledger accounting method, we attach application accounting definitions. That is, you can have application accounting definition for receivables, payables, and then we talk about assets, cost management, purchasing, loans, projects. So these are my applications to which one definition will be attached. So within one subledger, this many applications can be attached. If I go to the cash set of books or cash accounting method, so there the purchasing will not be there, cost management will not be there, fixed asset will not be there. Only receivable, payable, and the cash management. Because this is where I am making payment and receipt. In the cash set of books, that's the rule, right? Anything you purchase in the purchasing, make a PO, receive, no, it should not be accrued. So in that method, you will not found other applications. So to each application, there can be events, one or multiple events. Okay. So below event comes is we assign journal line definition. So what is the journal line definition? So okay, so this journal line tags can be one or more. So if you are making one journal entry, that means twice all the journal line definitions which are attached for all that events will be done. Sorry, for all that journals will be passed within that journal definition. And to journal definition, account derivation rules. What are account derivation rules? Okay, so my full code combination, how the system should derive my full code combination. Okay, here I just miss out the journal line types below the journal line definition. Then comes the account derivation rules. Okay, so far in the structure, any question?
Sir, I can check about that. If you have multiple journal lines, then all of them will be attached.
Grouped in one journal line definition.
No, I wouldn't clear on that.
So, anybody from here, any other question?
You might say that we can have multiple subledger accounting methods, but before that, we want to ledger. Then, what is the topic of multiple subledger accounting methods?
You can have multiple ledgers.
Okay, we can multiple ledgers.
Ahmad, Abad, any queries? So I will show you the same structure which we have discussed here on the system. Yes.
What about supporting reference? You have to attach them to journal line definition. What is
Abid, your
this
voice
supporting
was
reference?
breaking. Yeah, supporting reference is the additional part. So this we will be taking up later in the other sessions. In this session, I will, if the time permits, I will just give you the overview of supporting reference. Okay, but okay, thank you, Abid. So first thing, subledger accounting, it's in itself is not a, you will never found a responsibility for subledger accounting. So subledger accounting is though the different application, but there is no responsibility for the subledger accounting. What SLA is shared across all the applications. It's one common accounting engine which will be used for all the accounting which you are doing. So you will found subledger in all subledgers, but not in the general ledger. If I do here Control L SLA, there is no form function available for subledger. But if I go for payables, there I will found the subledgers forms are available. So you can see all the forms for subledger is available in payables, as well as it's available in cost management, and it is available in receivables also. So these are the menus which are available in all the subledger application where the accounting are done. So it will not be available in the inventory application, because all the transactions, accounting transactions related to inventories are performed through cost management. Okay. So first we will see the structure, whatever we discussed. Let's see from the payable side. So this is one user-defined subledger accounting. So as per the structure, the first comes is subledger accounting method. So you can see this is hit and encumbrance accrual. This is my subledger accounting method. So these methods, there are multiple applications attached. So this is application and this is my application accounting definitions. You can see the name is written here. Against this application, which method, against this application, what is the rule? And you see here, this is disabled. When I go to payables, it will get enabled. So subledger accounting works with the application attached to this responsibility. Right now I'm in which responsibility? So payables responsibility. Just to give you the name is payable versus Hitendra. If I go to sysadmin, so you can see here application is, so only the accounting definition of this application will be enabled, not any other application's accounting definition. So if I go to receivables, receivable responsibility, then accounting application definition of receivables will be enabled. So I will not be able to make any changes in any other application. So I need to switch responsibilities. Payables, again SLA, subledger, accounting methods. coming to, so you can see how many applications are there: contract commitment, cost management, loans, payables, projects, purchasing, receivables. Okay, so we will go to payables. So as you can see, the payables is enabled. So I will do the application accounting definitions. So this is in my structure. Application accounting definitions. Below it comes is events. So you can see here the events. So these are my events. Burden for invoice. The word burdens represent that it is come from the project's application. So these are my events when there is some project related invoice, project related prepayment application, and project related prepayments. Credit memo. This is my normal credit memos. And you can see here, this is what journal line definition for the event credit memo. So if I go to prepayment, second one, you can see here the journal line definitions are changing. And there are 3 journal line definition attached to one event. So that means, as we discussed, accounting definition, events. So there can be one or more journal line definitions. So what is this journal line definitions? What is the journal line definition? Okay, group of journal line type. So you are well familiar with all of you are familiar with the invoice. So in the invoice, let's see how many journal line types you can think of. Yeah, Ahmad, you can also give the answer. What are the different journal line types you have seen so far? Your liability. Okay. So liability, then you said freight, then liability, freight, miscellaneous, withholding tax, cash account on the invoice. We are talking about the event invoice. Prepayment is a separate event. So let's see how much. 4, 5. Let's see. Now looking at the definition, you will see that exhaustive list of all the line types are available. Accrual. So when does the accrual come? Okay, when you matched, then the exchange rate variance. So there's a difference between which 2 events? Payment. PO invoice or receipt invoice, whichever option you selected. Freight, invoice price variance, item expense when you are entering manually the lines. Liability with offset account. This is the option you have selected at the payable option. Automatic offset. Balancing accounts, basics, miscellaneous expense. This is for secondary ledger. If you have a different exchange currency at this, so what should be the gain loss variance? Tax variance, non-recoverable tax, tax accrual. This is for your EBIS tax setup. Recoverable tax, retainage release. So this is if you are creating the complex purchase order retention functionality which is used. So you can see there's so many things are there. This is created by me for the multi-period accounting withholding tax. So this is all my journal line types. So let's go to the liability. Yeah, but this is grayed out because seeded there is no subledger multi-period accounting lines are there. You need to create your own, and right now in this particular instance it is not working proper, so it has been disabled. Hello, Abad? Yeah, you have to create your own when you want to use for the multi-period accounting. At that point of time you need to disable the fine, okay, we are you able to hear us? Okay, so for multi-period accounting you need to create your own setup, you need to create your own line type. So today in this session we will be seeing this setup also, the multi-period accounting, how this will be done, but that will be the later stage. Initially we will go for the basic things. Okay. So right now we have selected line. So when the line liability, how is been selected the liability? So for this, the rule is, this is the name of rule. This is not the account which has been picked. This is the name of the rule given by the system, and this rule is created by Oracle. So whenever the word Oracle comes, that means you cannot make any changes in that part. And the reason being you cannot make changes is because this is used at multiple places. You make any changes in this rule, it will affect everyone. So Oracle does not take the responsibility of changes done by the users. If you create your own method, then it is your responsibility to maintain it. So Oracle will take responsibility only of lines which are owned by Oracle. So this is also account derivation rule owned by Oracle. And in this rule, from where the system will pick the accounts. So system is selecting the account from. So whatever you enter at the invoice liability segment, that will be selected. So this is one rule, and this is what we call as a source. And this is at what level? Flex field. So entire code combination will come from here. It's not one or two segments. So all segments will come from here. So I can define a rules for each individual segment also. One segment from A value, B value, C value, D value, you name it, it is possible. The only thing is you should be able to link it out. If I am saying if my customer's account, it should show on the liability side, but now you need to give the reference of that customer on the invoice. If that link is possible, then yes, account is possible. So you may enter the customer on the DFF. Yes, we can do it. So here we can bring that account also. So subledger accounting engine is very much powerful, and if you know the technical queries, you can do it by your own. So there are certain seeded rules are available, just like this is seeded rule. If I want to use this liability segment on the distribution part, I can use it. Okay. And pose account to use descriptive flexible values. Yes, but you can create the rules from the DFF also.
One account will be derived from more than one page, depending on option. So in that case, will there be multiple lines over here?
Yes, very good.
So as is the case in accounting in CA, they can use this similar to that budget video.
Yes, you can do so. Yeah, Abad, for your query, so your question was from the DFF value, can we derive the rule, right? This is the question. So what I understood is if anybody is entering any value in the DFF, say account value, so account value should be used for the SLA. Yes, we can do so. So for okay, Ahmed, so cost center part, right? So I will show one case for the cost center right now, but before that I will show this seeded one. Without DFF also there are certain values based on which we will show the how to change the accounting. इसका लिख देना क्वेश्चन एक तो MPA का and that's the DFF. Okay, so this cost center one we will see a live demo for one of the scenario. So right now I am just enabling the UPK to enter our subledger accounting method. So user okay, the first thing is right now we are going to do the test cases. In this test cases I will be changing the subledger accounting method from one of the existing ledger to the new one which I have created. But make sure you don't do it on the live environment because that may lead to the data corruptions. Because previous method was encumbrance accrual, now I'm changing to the standard accrual. What will happen to the transaction hanging in between? So for our testing part, you do it, no problem. But for the real time place, you need to be very sure that you are not making it changes without making the proper testing. This creation of ledger, and in between if one or small changes also you are doing one of the existing ledger, like right now if I say I want to change the derivation of liability. So one of the case which we are going to see today is changing the liability account. Means the liability I want to capture, say the client require in our own case, the chart of account structure as you are using in the training, it consists of one segment called property. Okay, so there is a requirement from the client side, we want to capture the property wise liability. If there is a invoice, you are capturing the expenses property wise, but at the same time the liability also needs property wise. So this is possible, but now what about the existing one? Existing invoices were booked in the 00, no property. So it will not change the accounting which is already done. So once the create accounting final is done, that is done. So thereafter you cannot do anything. So only thing which are not yet accounted, the rule will be applicable to that only. So we will be seeing that part, that how we will change this property segment, that it will, the liability should come from the distribution, whatever is in the distribution. Okay, so this is so basically I would say there is your subledger accounting method. So if I break it down, there are two type of methods. One I can say the generic, which anybody can use. Means you can attach it to any ledger, this method will be used. And the another is chart of account base. So chart of account base is, this accounting method is specific to one chart of account. So one chart of account means, as we know that in the general ledger we can have one chart of account with 5 value, another with 7 values, another with 9 values. So I have multiple segments. So this chart of account value will use only for one specific chart of account, even though I have two chart of account with same segments, same values set, but they are defined as two different chart of account. Then also I cannot use. So this is specific to one chart of account only. Generic means available for everyone. So this works at what level? So if I want to change the rules, no, that's fine. Both of them are at instance level because I can attach it to one to ledger. So it is created at instance level, attached at ledger level. So it is not the when I am defining, I need to create this is only for this specific ledger. Both the methods are independent at the instance level. Only thing is they are attached to one chart of account and then ledger. So I say this works on qualifier basis. So my rules to derive the accounts will be based on the qualifiers. Natural account qualifier, account value should come from here. Cost center account qualifier value should come from here. Okay, because all code combination I know, all segments. Now specific segment values. Just like I gave you the example, I want liability property wise. So property is my one segment that needs to be changed. So that qualifier will be available for all the chart of account. So anything which is at generic, that will work on qualifier, and when it's chart of account based, then it will work on segments, because now it is independent chart of account. So can anybody tell me what is the benefits of these two methods and what are the limitations? On what criteria, by giving this much hint, what do you decide that when I will go for generic chart of account, generic subledger accounting method, and when I will go for chart of account based? Yeah, Abad Ahmad, you can also give the answer. So the question is, how would you decide which subledger accounting method to follow? Generic or chart of account based? So no answers? Yes.
The clients must business build independent. That is not independent. Then they will use qualifiers. And if the client's business in a particular place, then what you the liability account must derive from the property, and negative sequence. And qualifier can be used segments. This is the case where we have property as well as department. It can be either of them cost centers. So there is something like that where there can be multiple cost centers and we can use on this. Otherwise, there is a reference that we have to do cost center and we can use it.
Okay. Okay, I think this at this particular moment you are not able to give this answer. Let's first see some demo on the system and then see if you are able to differentiate between the both or not. Okay. So now to start with, how should I start? So initially we need to create, if I want to make any changes. So first case scenario, we will see this one method, the chart of account based. Okay, so COA based. So you can see this is chart of account based subledger accounting method. So first thing, select which method you want to copy. You want to copy the encumbrance accrual or standard accrual. So say for example, I want to copy the encumbrance accrual. So first take the any seeded Oracle subledger accounting methods which you want to use, because I don't want to change all the rules. I want to change the one specific rule for liability account, right? Okay. Okay, so rather than first, let's go with the generic part. See, Abad, in both are possible. Whole code combination as well as one segment is also possible. Okay, so first we will decide, we will see the generic method. Okay, fine. Okay, and generic method, the rule is property wise liability. Now the first question comes, why I need to change the SLA? Can I do it without changing the SLA, or I cannot do it without changing the SLA? The first thing, we will be specific to one scenario only. Right now we are focusing only on the manual invoice. It can be PO match invoice, it can be receipt match invoice, foreign currency or any other thing. But right now I'm restricting my search criteria to only one scenario, that is the manual invoice. You can have the other scenarios also. When you go to the real environment, you need to think of all these scenarios. When I say liability account, will it be only manual invoice or PO match invoice also? So first thing we are going to see is create our method. So starting the UPQ. Select subledger accounting method. Selecting the Oracle encumbrance accrual. So this is the seeded method I have selected. Why seeded? Because it's Oracle, so it should work everything as it is working fine. So I will select that method and I will make only changes where I want. So first thing, copy this method. As it is Oracle owned, I cannot make any changes in it. So first copy and make your own. Train encumbrance accrual. Okay, so this is, if I enable here the chart of account, so that means it is specific to chart of account, but we are not creating a method that is specific to chart of account. So we will keep these two things as blank. Done. Sorry. If I select here the chart of account, that means this chart of account, this subledger accounting method is based on that specific chart of account only. So it will not be available for other ledgers. So what we are right now creating is a generic generic subledger accounting method. So this you can use for any ledger. So let's go to the payables part. Okay. So in the payables, I want to create my own method also, right? Application. This is Oracle. So in the Oracle, I cannot do any changes. So this is Oracle 1. So I copy TRAN AP encumbrance accrual. So this is like naming convention you follow. You use your prefix or suffix. Mostly use the prefix as your own name, and whatever the name of Oracle definition is there, use the same. Encumbrance accrual. Done. So this is by default not validated. One way is I validate from here, other way is run as request. So it is appropriate to run the request, because if I press the button here, it will block the form. Till the time everything is completed, I will not be able to do anything on the screen. This screen will be locked. But right now I will not do the validations because I need to first make the changes. So we want to make changes at what level? Then you need to again make the validation. So changes can be, validation can be done n number of times. So when you make any smaller changes here inside the methods, again you need to do validate again. Okay. So this is my accrual invoice. These two are for encumbrance, right? By the naming you can understand. So I don't want to make changes in the encumbrance. This is the accrual. Again copying the accrual, opening the lines. So this journal and definition also I need to copy. Copy. TRAN accrual invoice invoice. Again this two will be blank. So this is also line definition is also created. Where I want to make changes? Which line type? Liability basic. This one. So here all segment is coming from liability. That's fine. But what I want is the property segment. That is which qualifier? Cost center. So here if I click in the list of values, all the qualifiers are coming. It's not giving me my segments. Why? Because this is a generic method. So in one I can have segment, I cannot have the segment. If I select property, if I go to the hospital ledger, there may not be the property segment. So that's why here in the list it is showing me the qualifiers. So I want qualifier of cost center. Qualifiers value should come from invoice distribution. Whatever property you are debiting, I want credit also in that liability account, right? So here the rule is not available. So I need to create one account derivation rule for which segment? Cost center segment. And here the value should come from invoice distribution. Okay, so clicking on account derivation rule, clear first. Account derivation rule, clicking new. No, but when I use the COA, then the segment name will come, specific segment names will come. Okay. So TRAN property liability. Okay. So output type, I want what? Full code combination or specific segment? Specific segment. And this is again generic. So this two is still blank. So segment. So which segment? Cost center qualifier segment. Any segment which possesses the cost center qualifier. Cost center. Okay. So now the rules here. So rule is priority. So I can have multiple rules here. So in the conditions I can put if the currency is this, if the customer type is supplier type is this. So these conditions I can go on, and based on the priority it will look out. But right now we don't have any priorities or condition. We have fixed condition. One and only one condition, that is property segment from the invoice distribution. So for flexibility, I used to keep 10 number. If I want to put in future any one more additional value come, I will use here that value. And source, from where the account should come. So you can see there is in total 74 seeded source are available. So mostly whatever is your requirement, first you need to identify that this source are available. Just like the bank charge account and this, if I assigned it here, but then system will not allow me to add this rule on liability basic on invoice event, because bank cash account I'm not selecting any bank at the invoice time. So how does system will know which bank's cash account is there? So there is a link of this seeded rule. Just to give you overview, when I selected this rule, see the rule. Is the rule specifying for which event this rule is used? No. So for all the events, whatever sources are available, that's available here. So what will happen? Sometimes you create this rule, but when you go and try to attach it, the system will not show in the list of values. Because of this source are not connected to that event, and this rule is independent of any event, but this source is not independent. So depending upon your source, the list will come. So my source is invoice distribution account. And one more. And one more good thing is I can have my own source also. I can create my source. I can link it using SQL. From anywhere I can see it from the purchasing. If it's a math is PO, I can bring it from there also. Or I can bring it from ledger, encumbrance account, anywhere. I can create my own source. So here you can have your own source and then derive the account from there. Either full or the specific segments also. Using the source, you can bring it from the DFF also. So this is what we call as a custom source. So here, as soon as I press the tab button, this segment will enable. This will be enabled because this is a full code combination, right? And I'm asking for what? Only one qualifier. So it will ask from this full code combination which segment you want. So again, which chart of account may have the property, may not have the property. So again, I will say here from this code combination, give me the cost center qualifier values. So this is sometimes, this is rarely will be different, but in case of intercompany part, you can keep source, because above the natural segment qualifier will be here, source you can say different. So whatever is in the intercompany BSE, same should be in the intercompany part. So in these cases, I can make the rules here. Cost center. So I save this. So this rule is created. So now I will go down and start attaching. Close this. Liability basic. Here I need to change cost center and rule from where? The name of rule which I have created. So now if I do the control L, so list is name is automatically available. Otherwise, the name will not be available. Why the name is available? No, the one point I said which you have not highlighted. Event and this source are linked. Invoice in the event invoice distribution is appearing. If I go to the payment, then this rule will not come. Or it will come. What do you say? How many says no? Anyone with yes?
Actually, it will come because when you make your payment, that time you will have this is already entered.
So it will come because invoice payment is linked with the invoice. Without invoice, you cannot have the payments. So that linkage system is capable enough to cover up. Yes, it is different event, but here when I'm selecting the rule, I'm not giving any event. Okay, but see here, in this rule, there is no event. In the rule, you see the screen, the name of the rule, chart of account, segment, and the source. Okay, so for you to confirm this part, I will make the another case, which is exchange loss or gain. I will do the property wise. Is it fine? Okay. So this is first part. Rule is created. Now this is very much important. I have created everything, but all these are not linked yet. So you need to start linking. So close this rule. The liability basic, is it attached? Yes, cost center qualifier is attached. Now go back to from journal line definition to account. Event is here. Sorry, events to application accounting definition. This journal line definition needs to be attached. Okay, this is my user created line definition. This is event and journal line definition. Where is the journal line definition of user? It's not attached here. So what I need to do is add here. System will allow me because this is user based journal line definition. CRM and delete the existing one. If I don't do this, twice the entry will be created. One for this journal line definition with no property, another for this line definition with property. And not only for invoice. Yes, it is for invoice. Otherwise, if I selected here credit memo, debit memo, it will make single entry for credit memo, debit memo. But when it comes to invoice, it will create twice entry. So that's why I will delete this accrual one. Save. And now we need to attach this method to subledger accounting method. So this is how the methods are completed, and then we need to run request validate application accounting definition. So this is right now, this method is linked to any ledger? Not linked. So I will do the only application. I have created any new application accounting definition? For which application? Okay, so to restrict my search, I will use only payable, otherwise it will run for all. The payables and any specific name. Okay, train. So let's say only validate this one. If it is fine, so this was something you already knew. This is the liability part, this is the event. If you don't know, then you will need to find out the other way around. Okay, this. Okay, so again, coming back to the question why I need to change the SLA. The question was, without SLA, can this be done? Okay, so for example, it said there was a cement purchase from one supplier, which is going to be used for 2 different sites. So this is my choice on which property the cement needs to be used, right? So directly invoice, there can be one supplier, one invoice with property 1, second invoice with property 2, third invoice with property 3. So one way is I will create multiple sites of the same supplier and different liability accounts. Okay, so that is one solution. Then the problem comes is one invoice with 2 properties combined together. Then what needs to be done? Partial to multiple invoices. So that is one of the challenge. Another challenge comes, what if the user select distribution different property and site at different? So the liability will go in property 1, distribution expense will go in property 2. So that is another challenge. So to overcome this challenge, what I will say, whatever is entered in the distribution, the same should be the liability. Okay, so we will see the same scenario of multiple lines. Okay, I hope today the instance will work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, here we need to, there was one more scenario, right, about the exchange gain and loss also. So I will create this as a foreign currency invoice. So when we go to the payment, we also want to see that linkage of the same source can be used or not. Source. Foreign currency. User. Exchange rate 52. 12,400. Okay, and this is 200. So distribution, there is same property. What you said Irshad was 201 and 401. So please remember the amount. So my liability should be 40 and 160. This is fine. Action. Validate. Okay, it's validated. And now, first thing, I have not made the changes in the subledger accounting method, right? To my ledger, it is still the old subledger accounting method which is attached. I have not attached the train SLA method. So let's see the draft accounting. I think in the old one, the method attached, the same rule is already applicable. So draft accounting means there is no actual accounting done. So always use the draft accounting for your concern. Make the event, do the draft accounting, check is it proper or not, and then do the final entry. Purchase. So right now you can see that is 0000 liability accounts are coming. So now this is the Oracle journal entry. Now I want to know, this is fine. Now you know that where you want to make change. I have created one invoice. My requirement is this is the distribution, and the same should come up in the liability part. Now in the subledger accounting method, where I need to make changes. This is the most important question, right? There were so many journal line types, there were so many events, there were so many account derivation rules. So where specifically I need to make the changes. Okay, identify events or identify event and JLT. So first you create the transactions for which you want to change. So whatever test cases you want to do, you will do it that test case, just like I created one invoice with two different properties, and then I did the accounting in a draft mode. So now I'm going to see the accounting. This is reserve for encumbrance. This one is fine. Two journal entries, right? Reserve for encumbrance. Yeah. So this is document sequence number. You see, there is no description here. That also we can change through the SLA. But right now our focus is what event, what journal line definition, what journal line type I need to change. The first thing in the subledger part here you can see these two additional information. So what is my accounting application definition right now? So if there encumbrance accrual in this, where I need to change, this is my line definition, the name of line definition. So system is picking up accounting from this particular AAD and this line type. Sorry, this journal line definition. But in journal line definition also there are so many line types. So which line type I need to change? So in this case, where I want to make change? I want to make change here. The property segment should come 401 and 201. So click on the show button. So here the account class is liability. Okay. So liability mostly from the name, now I am dependent on the name because here the liability basic word is missing. Right. So here becomes the trial and error part. Mostly the name will match up. line type name and this accounting class name will match, but sometimes it will not match. So for that you need to do the trial and error part. Yes, here it is journal line type, it is empty. So this is for next line. So this is empty right now, but there will be certain times the value here also. So from here itself you will come to know where specific you want to make the changes. So now I will change the subledger accounting method to the ledger. That is already done. So we have made the changes here only. Now let's make the changes at the ledger level. Do that also, because that is generic. So that I can attach to any application accounting definition for payables, for any ledger. And now all of you can also use the same for your, if you want to use the same rule property wise, no need to create, attach the same application definition, but provided your accounting method is user. Or you can directly use the same subledger accounting methods. So here I need to change. So in the example which we discussed, what happened? Accounting method क्या है? Here is this method. Let's see the output. So everything is valid in the TRM application accounting definition. Let's see the method name. What is the subledger accounting? TRAAIN. I think the naming mistake was there in the ledger. Okay, that's the ledger. Okay, next. Internet applications. Okay. I can close other things. Only Hangout is open. I mean, just everything is closed. Okay. Yeah, let's finished. And now the ledger, to this ledger, which accounting method is selected here? Grain encumbrance accrual. So let's go back to the invoice. Invoice number I think was 2098 USD currency. Okay. This is validated, approved. Let's do again. Action. Create draft accounting to check whether the accounting is proper or not. Sometimes you may need to run the validate application definition after attaching to ledger also. So here it is created successfully. View accounting events. The second one, view journal entry. So this actuals. You can see here my liability is 401 and 201. So whatever was here, same is attached to this liability account. So this is how the SLA has changed. And now, say for example, I want to use the same rule for Irshad. He is having different chart of account, but still we can do it or no? Yes. And now the question is, if for payables both of us has the same rule, but receivables we have different rules for deriving the revenue, then can we share the same subledger accounting method or different subledger accounting method? Okay, so there are two opinions. Good. So the question is, okay, same rules for payables and different rules for receivables. So can we have this, both the ledgers can have the same subledger accounting method or different subledger accounting? Okay, so how many says same? What's the reason? And how many says different, and what's your reason? Okay, same. Any reasons you think why it should be? Okay. Okay.
Because there can be multiple rules as well as there can be particular rules working with same SLA. We use it under different activities.
Okay. This is done.
Because I just saw that one time only one application other and so one subledger you both are really rules different application because I simultaneously work application one needs to be ended.
Ahmed Abad, what's your answer? Hello?
If you don't have more than one application,
Under the same application, you can have multiple rules or not.
even both of your accounts have different rules. So if there are different rules, that is okay. The application will be still the same. You are having different rules in the same receivable application. You have different rules in the same receivable application, but you cannot attach two applications to the same application.
I'm not attaching to application. I'm having only one application that is here, but under here, I'm having multiple rules.
One same app cannot have more than one in one subledger accounting method.
So okay, now the question here. Okay, Ahmed. So I think most of you have not understood the question properly. So here both ledgers have same rules here, same application accounting definition here, but they have different application definition here. So which application definition I attach here? The one of Irshad or one of the Siddhant? Within this application definition, yes, I can have these separate rules. But this, if they are altogether different application accounting definition, AAD, then only one. You need to have the separate accounting definitions, separate subledger accounting method. So both of you can share the same, here same, and here the receivables, it will be different.
We were talking about the rules, but it is the definition.
Okay, so here are the rules for AAD only. So same rules also, how you need to put condition for every rule. If this ledger, then this is the rule. If this ledger, then this is the rule. Okay. Okay, so now we will go for one more part. It's exchange gain in loss property wise. And this also we are going to check on generic. So before, I think on break you need. Let's talk our important consultant. Ahmed, do you need 5-minute break? Ahmed, do we need a break or no? With break or with continuing? Please pick up your voice.
Okay, I think it's not lunch time. Not yet. Yes, maybe we still have time.
So you are okay with break?
Okay, why not? If we agree with it.
So few people already left. Session pause कर सकते हैं recording. So restart कर दो ना, next meeting कर देंगे. We need to find out where the change needs to be done, right? So can anybody navigate me? How would I find? I know that this is my requirement. My requirement is in this common part, I want property segment from the invoice distribution. So my concern is, how would I know in the subledger accounting method where I need to make the changes? Okay. So event is, first thing I know the event is payment. Then this is EAD. Then within this accounting application definition, there will be event. Event is already available, right? Hierarchy wise. I need to select the event. Then below the event, what comes? Journal line definition. What should be the journal line definition? Here. So accrual payment is what? Oracle. So I will not be able to do any changes. Copy this method and create our own journal line definition. Then journal line type. the discount. Let's focus on journal line type, that is, and here the name is there. Yes, the name is available here in this case. So this part JLD is Oracle. So change the Oracle to user. And other than this, there is one more requirement for loss, also foreign exchange gain or loss. That should also be property wise. Okay. So before I change, if I after changing, what should be the discount amount? 10. It should be broken up. How it should be broken up? Because there was two properties, right? It was 160 and 40. $160 and then 40. So this 50 will be prorated. So how it should be prorated? $40 and 10. This should be discount. And for loss, how much is the loss? No, sorry, discount is 610, loss is 50. So this was and discount is 610. Again the same ratio. So this is just one time exercise. Then you can believe on the system. This is how it should be broken up. Property code. Do anybody remember the property code? What was the code? This is 401. Like this. Okay. Okay. Good. So 401 and 201. So this is how the property wise breakup should be given for the payment. So for this discount, the JLT was discount accrual basis, and for loss, the name is loss. JLT loss. So now all the required information is available. I need to make changes where, and the application is already user defined. So no need to copy this one because I can make the changes. Here I cannot make the changes. Journal line definition. It is Oracle owned. So let's go back, and here the case is of gain. Right, 61. So there is one line of gain and one of loss, and there is different invoice also. So here we have selected a different invoice. I think properties are not changed. 100 here. So ledger accounting method Oracle, then what to train. Okay, for user payables. This is the name, right? Checking the name, fine. Then what comes is event. What is the event? Payments. Payments. So here are the payments. This is the line definition. First, go into the line definition. If I copy now, it will copy this application accounting definition. So first, open this journal line definition. Now copy. Here and what's the name? accrual payments and PRN accrual payment. This is again generic. Say done. Go and line type is discount accrual basis. Either drill down and find or do query. So there is already the rule is given. All segment from the discount account. Balancing segment from discounting balancing segment. This is the name of rule. So this rule comes from invoice distribution. Whatever is on the invoice distribution balancing segment, same will come here. If you have 5 balancing segments, so discount will be prorated in 5. And natural account, from where it should come. And here the rule is system discount account. So there is also some conditions are there. Automatic offset value is account or not account. So that the rules will vary. For us, what we need to change is here, add cost center qualifier. Cost center qualifier should come from cost center, and here the rule will be available or no? We created one rule, TRN. So again, I don't need to create new rule. So one rule, one source invoice distribution property from that is available. So I am reusing the same account derivation rule. So no need to create multiple times the same rules. And if I want to change, that is where you need to remember. If once made a change, everywhere it should be changed. So one account derivation rule. If once change, only one place it should be affected. So different account derivation rule. So this is we have achieved for the discount. Now let's talk about the loss and gain. This is gain for exchange gain loss. Sorry, cost center, and then PRN property. That's achieved for the gain, loss, center. See, so this changes are done. Where in this journal line definition, is it done? No, it is not done. This line definition is not attached yet. So this is one of the things which most of the time are forgotten. You can still see here, it is still the oracle. First, add one. So as a practice, first you should add and then you should delete. So as soon as I saved, you can see the status. So that's where any change is done here, you need to do the validations. So I will run the request. That also for payables and then TRAIN. Okay. So the area is restricted. So benefit of using the same account derivation rule is one more, that you have tested at one place and the second place also now it will work out. So if the new rule is created, again the concern will be there. And multiple rules means you need to follow the multiple convention. If the property segment, what name I should give, so I will understand this is attached to invoice liability or this is attached to payment discount account. So how would you give a naming convention? So there, when the changes come, you want to make a change. So where you will make this change? So then the naming convention becomes critical. Just let's checking the invoice distribution for 2093. it's 100. So this and then 14th July. So if it is not validated and you run the create accounting, it will be completed with error. Anybody else using? Okay, completed at last. So first, let's see the part of loss. Create accounting, draft successfully. Tools, view accounting event. This one, view journal entry. The first one. Still the same. Cash on hand. It was not the bank, huh? Invoice 2093 2098. The bank name. So loss is 100 and discount is 100. So this is same one 2093. So that's not there because there 100 was the property. So we cannot conclude. Let's go to this part where we had the different properties. Okay, discount comes to blank. Account definition error, so it's not been validated properly. So the code combination is missed out here. Okay, so error, the reason here. Where is the error? The error. Okay. Again, financial options. Four zero eight. 14 July 2098. Actions draft. Okay, the draft accounted. Eight into. So here 488 122. 488 122. And then gain. So the gain, so 401 and 40 and 10. You see here 40 10. So all that which we mentioned here in the Excel, the same proportion it is there, 401, 201, 401, 201. So that's the test cases you perform, and now for the next time onwards you can rely on the system. This is how already it will be doing. This is how it will be performing the transaction. So manual intervention, it is removed here. So comparatively, if you check, if you are so expected to do this manually proration of discount or proration of loss, it will be very much difficult. And here I have not mixed multiple invoices. There can be multiple invoices with multiple distributions, one with exchange above 62, one with less than 62. So for few invoices there may be gain, and for few invoices there will be loss. So prorating all these things will be very much difficult. This is already done by the Oracle. System will perform on your behalf. Okay. So for generic, what benefit you found? SLA. Okay. Reusability, multiple ledgers you can assign. Okay, and limitations. Department. So you may need to attach one more qualifier to department also, right? Then you can do it. In the SLA, we can see all qualifiers are in the list. Management qualifier, secondary tracking. So for a certain segment, if you have ruled certain segment base, then you want to make changes in those segments, then it becomes mandatory for you to assign some kind of qualifier to that segment. Otherwise, segment wise will not be enabled. So if there is no qualifier, that means that for that segment rules will not be enabled. That should be come from the all segments only. So that is the limitation. To overcome this limitation, the method is chart of account based. So now when I do the chart of account based SLA method, so I will go to the we will go for one more method, that's one more test case using a chart of account base sub ledger, and I will use this method, which is a chart of account method. So when you copy the transaction and accounting flex field, we will keep accounting chart of account, we are keeping blank. So now instead of keeping blank, I need to start putting the value. So remember, when I say chart of account base, that means from the method you need to start that this method will be for this particular chart of account. Below you can use the generic rules also and chart of account specific rules also. Just like if I say for deriving the liability account, I can still use the owner of Oracle. I can still use the full code combination which is done by the Oracle. But when it is specific to this chart of account, I cannot use this rule anywhere else. Okay, so now I am in the purchasing. So for our next case, we are going to change the encumbrance, purchasing encumbrance method. So for example, I want to book my expenses based on the location. So there is one delivered to location, right? So instead of purchasing, I go to the requisition because there is a mandatory field. What I will say, against each location I will map one cost center. So seeded way, user will know where location they want to be delivered the goods. This is my office, to deliver it here. So user will select that location properly. But when it comes to the cost center selection, there will be a mistake. For within one premises, there can be multiple of rooms, and each room can be defined as my one location. But for finance, all this can be one cost center. So that's why there may be confusions. And assuming right now, yes, it can be done. Console rule level. So okay, mapping /. So I will just show you here what is the difference. The main difference comes here, account derivation rule. So in the account derivation rule, when it was generic, so the segments values were the qualifiers. When it is specific, then it will give me the segment name. for which segment you want a rule. So there is now no dependence on the qualifier. Whether department has any qualifier or does not have any qualifier, I can create a rule for department also. And but this is generic, right? UPK will see the case part. Okay. So here the difference, I'm showing the difference. So when it was a generic method, here the list of value was showing qualifiers. And when it is chart of account based, then the segment values. So first, let's create one requisition. The item ten location where I want to be delivered. Say this is Ahmedabad. This is where needs to be delivered. So I'm just copying the name of location. So if this is the location, then what should be the cost center? This is one of the requirements. So the budget account, this is derived from where the system is deriving this budget account. Sorry? But there are also so many values are there. It's not just one field, right? There is a cost of sale account, sales account. So from which account? So at the purchasing tab, encumbrance account. So specifically I know the item. So if a cement is there, so I will say expense cement expense account. Material account is fine. So if I want to allocate my budget, I know that cement is going to be consumed. Right now it may be the inventory, but ultimately the consumption will be of cement. So I know, so I can book the amount against cement. What should be my total amount utilized for the cement? But what if I want to track with cement one department also, that this department should be able to buy only this much amount. So here only one I can say. Cement can be ordered by multiple departments. So for a defaulting, only one. Let's see, this is the budget account, like common property. Okay. So 1023. So here if I do the reserve, that means what? It will be directly finally accounted. So similarly, when I was doing in the payables, I was doing draft accounting. Can I do here draft accounting? So it means budget was booked and again reversed and vice versa. And even in the case of testing, there are other ways also. So here the functionality is check funds. Successfully, let's view the result. Equation number is 1023. Okay. The code combination is 100.109.711.24. Here also, can you see it? I think by default it was today's date, so that will not be changed, and the number was 1023. So draft accountant. The system is doing the draft accounting. If I do the reserve, why I need to do the draft accounting?
So then it will be altered.
Yeah. Another thing, Okay. Effect I seen. Okay, what account is debited? Actual thing. Anything other than this? Yes, so that's what I know. What actual system is account is derived. So in this actual, what I need to change? Do I need to change anything? So where I need to make these changes? So this is where I need to know that if I want to change the subledger, where specific I need to make the changes. So this is Oracle defined application accounting definition is Oracle one, and within the Oracle line definition is, and in that I need to change this line type reserve requisition references. So here my account derivation rules need to be changed. So how the account derivation rules needs to be changed? Depending upon the location. So assuming, right now I'm assuming that the property is not a cost center qualifier. Department is my cost center qualifier. So now can I use the generic one or I cannot? Because there is no qualifier attached. So I will go for chart of account base. So seeded one I'm using. Sorry, I have created one. So going to created some of the places you will find only the transaction accounts list of values coming, and some of the places on some of the forms only accounting values are available. So there is a different thing. These two we will see, just like the first thing we focus here, then we will see on that part. On some of the rules you will see only one part. Okay. Let's come to the purchasing. Then the event was requisition, and here already one rule is created, and in there requisition encumbrance. I'm removing this particular rule right now. So what I will do is, now I will create one rule. Rule TRN property location. So is it chart of account based? Yes, because I want for the one specific segment for which qualifier is not attached. As soon as I selected this, value set is disabled. So for which segment? So here what should be the name? So we are talking about property right now. Or you can say the department also, whichever way you want. If you want department, what should I select? Department or property? Okay, so let's say first property. So property 10. Now the source, as I have more options now. When it is start of account base, it is specific things. I can give the constant value. Constant, when I select constant, it will give me specific value. Lake view. Okay, this is the value system should pick. So I will say condition. And this is, I need to make a trial and error. Here the source deliver to location is available. Okay, deliver to location name is available. So source when delivered to name, location, name is equal to constant name Ahmedabad, right? So when it is Ahmedabad, then pick this value. Second 20, again constant. Anybody know any other name? or let's say I'm putting right now 403. So if it is not Ahmedabad, first it will select priority, it will select so Ahmedabad. So property, if it fulfills this condition, or it's not available. You can see here the condition name is there. Delivered location is equal to Ahmedabad. Name one, and if it is nothing, then the second one. So if you don't enter, if the mapping is not available, then it will go to this particular location. So that will also come. Okay. So.
Can we enter any one of them?
Yes.
What is the difference?
That's what I explained to Siddhant also. On some of the fields, you will only see transaction chart of account, and some of the rules only work with the accounting chart of account. So when you are not using the accounting, then you will select the value set. Okay, so that also you can try out, because right now you understood the two things, like field and segment. Okay, so this rule is created. So right now I have selected only one location. So all the location mapping once is available, define that location. From this location this is the value, this location this is the value. And now attach here property rule attached. Now validate this particular application. It's not validated. Purchasing. And this subledger method is different, chart of account base, so I need to change it to my ledger from generic to specific chart of account base. Instead of training, check. So you might have noted that I am just showing you the new transactions, not showing on the what happens to the existing one. So they may be corrupted, not functioning well, it can happen anything. So that right now you don't think that in the when we were showing on the training part it was working fine. It was working fine only for the new transactions. I didn't selected any invoices. I didn't match any invoice with the PO for which already accounting was done. So that's we are not touching the full cycle. We are only touching the part of a cycle. So retrospective effect is fine. Sorry, prospective effect is fine. What about the retrospective part? Means from the beginning. If some that's where. But now the previous one the accounting was not proper. Just like to give you a hint here, you were saying liability I want property wise. But when you are matching it with PO, what will be the liability distribution? Accrual account, right? AP accrual account. What should be the liability property on the accrual account? Will be default, only one, right? So how do you track liability in case of it is matched with the PO? It will be 0, 0. But this property, you might have expense destination on the receipt where you have the property selected. You need to join with that receipt. What is the location or property selected? Same should be here. Okay, it's completed. So requisition is 1023. Okay, the location is Ahmedabad. So again, I will do the check fund. What we selected 201 or 203? So 202. So now the property depending upon the location. Now I selected one more line. Select everything same. So I will just change the location. What location I should select? Let's select this Cairo. See here above side, if I go up and see the budget account, it will still show me the 100 only. SLA doesn't change anything here. Here it will remain the same. If you see on the invoice distribution also, it will remain the same. So here, this is a seeded one. System picks seeded SLA rule is what? Budget account. I have added one more rule to it. Segment property. If you don't change the rule is budget account. Again, tools, check fund. Subledger, not there. No, I want to open that subledger. $202. Okay. 1023. Click here and do check fund. Then let's see. For the full requisition. $403. No location, then this one. So now new locations come. So what I need to do? This is Ahmedabad, this is Cairo. Bhopal. So all this I need to add, keep adding on. So once I do the adding, what I need to do? SLA account derivation rule. Rule name was this current property location, right? This is, let's put a condition here, or will not put here condition, that is 11 constant put villa, and then the condition is deliver to location name is equal to constant topaz. And here I will select Cairo. And let's put 90 as constant something else. If I don't put constant, then what will happen? With no condition. Then will it give error or no error? In the last one, this 90 condition 702 is not there. So what should be given? System will give error. And if I select the location other than these three, Bhopal, Ahmedabad, or Cairo, if I selected some other city, some other location. So for that, I have already said all segment from where. A specific rule will override only the all segment. If there is no specific rule, then the all segment will come from the budget account. Whatever is my budget account, same thing will come. So now making after this, I made these changes. If I see my journal line definition, the journal line definition of the journal line type. So that was application definition. Purchasing not validated because I'm changing the rule. As soon as I change my rule, it will get not validated. I need to do the validations. So every time a new location is added, what I am required to do is so this is each time activity. So you need to do the validation. If you don't do the validation, then system will say your accounting is not, sorry, your application accounting definition is not validated. You need to run the request. So to avoid this part, Oracle has given one mapping set. So you can give a rule mapping set. In the mapping set, start adding the mapping like this location, this code, this location, this code. Like this mapping, you do it. Rule is same. So there is no rule difference. Only thing what you are changing is mapping. You are changing. So now, if you make any changes, addition or deletion in the mapping, you don't need to do the validation because you are not affecting the rule. Rule is still same. Only the mapping varies. So this is valid again. Can you see the acquisition 1023? Open. This is Bhopal, Cairo, and here I change the location to something else. Chennai. One successfully. See 702, 7203. So this has been achieved. So that's you have mapped with one of the field. So similarly, based on your requirement, if you can say if this is the item, this line type is good, all these fields, you need to know, try to find out the source is available or not. Just like I found out there was a delivered to location name, one source is available. So I uses the period source, and again that source I have done the mapping. What you need to do is find out the sources, what sources are available. Most of the cases you will find the source BFFs are available. So with the help of BFF, you can achieve your mapping requirement. On the BFF, you can map the requirement. Okay, now we will see the mapping set part, and then we will not be able to cover other parts. Means mapping set, that was fine. Multi-period accounting for the next session once you are clear with this part. To create a mapping set works only on the chart of account base. SLA method. It doesn't work on the other methods. Reason being, when I say input and output, I need to give output one segment value, right? There should be some input and some output. Just like here, I give a location 203, then this is location 204, then this is location. So 203 is what? Specific to one value set. This value set may not be available to all chart of account. Right or wrong? The same way, the mapping set works only on chart of account based method. So if you want to use a mapping set concept, that means you have no option to go with generic. You need to go with the chart of account based method only. Same way, the multi-period accounting also works on chart of account based only. So most of you have tried on the training instance to use this functionality, but your SLA method was not chart of account based. So you're not able to come into the last part where the actual result should be shown. Okay. So we go to SLA mapping set or through the account derivation rules. Let me show you first the mapping set window. No, this is already there. Huh? Okay. So I have created one value set for locations. So in the location, what I can do is, there are two requirements. This is the name. As per your naming convention, give any name. Enable, disable, and then there should be one input and one output, from where the system will get the input values. So this I have created one value set, table type value set. I hope you know the table type value sets. And then output. So output should be from this chart of account. You can see here the name is only, there are no two options are not there. There is no transaction option is available. Here the option is available only of. So that's here the only one option is there. The Hitendra real estate and segment, property segment. So in the property there is one value set attached. So in the input, I will see the values from this value set. Above, you see here this name. So if you remember, when I went to the condition field, I don't have the name of location Ahmedabad, or I was typing by my own. If I put A smaller, B capital, system will not update that thing. And even if I put there properly, somebody went and make changes into the name of the location. Location name is updatable. You change there Ahmedabad and then A, everything you make capital. So again my condition field. What I did, deliver to location name is equal to. In the condition, my source was what? Deliver to location name. So that's what I need to remember, what I am matching with name or with location ID. I was not matching with the location ID, because from the front end myself I don't know what is the location ID. What I know was the name. I put the name is this. If somebody is changing the name, then I'm in trouble. Then what input you will give? If there is this location, like I say here, on what base of condition system should select? Okay, so if assuming there is no value set attached here. So you can later on you can add. So what's your question here? Yes, it can be. But now that value set must be available on your transaction form. If I try to use this thing on the payables, this will not work out. Why? Because in the payables, there is no deliver to location field is available. So that field should be available. Or what you can say, you use one DFF and attach this value set to that DFF. So then it is fine. The same DFF you can attach to multiple forms. So everywhere the same thing will be used. So your standardized solution will be given. First, let me show you how to create a table type value set for this part. I want to create for location. So the inventory. Inventory, I'm saying define location. So this is the form. Query. So this is where the names are coming up, right? Help, record history. The table name is HR locations V, or I can say HR locations all. V is view, all is for table. And one more thing, put the cursor here. I want to know the field name, location code. So this is the name of the field. Now I want to create one value set, table type value set. Flex field value set, TRAN, location, property map. List of values, character, I think 15 is the character. Validation type, table. Edit information, table name, HR location solve. Sometimes I can select from here also. If not available, you can directly type HR location all. The table name is available. If it is not available, you can directly write the name also, system will accept. But make sure the name is proper. Locations, S is there. Without S, you have not put underscore. Instead of underscore, you put a space. Then system will not map it properly. And the value, what value I want? Location code. Location code. So here the size is 60. So I will change upside as 60. So there is no condition I'm putting, enable, disable, whatever location codes are there. All location codes are available. Save. So put here size as 60. Now taking this value set name and coming back to purchasing, because in inventory there is no SLA, menus are not available, so forms will not be there. SLA mapping set. So as a naming convention, standardized, most of the time we prefer to use the same name as value set. So I will not get confused. What was the name of value set? What was the name of mapping set? So at the time, most of the time I have kept is same. Value set, this is the name. Accounting chart of account and real estate. And this is for which segment? Property or department. I can use two mapping set. One I will map locations with property, another I will map locations with departments also. So here property input. Now input here the name is available. Input name is Guntur. Output, this is central part. Starts from, you can do the end date whenever the changes happens. After this date, stop mapping. So this is date of your GL date, not your sys date. So if you are reserving in backdated, so it will book on backdated mapping. If you are reserving in the current date, so it will map in current date. Just remember the names and codes. So here I can also do the mapping of multiple location with one property also. Say for example, this Ahmedabad money is again 406, but vice versa is not possible. One location, multiple properties, no. So my mapping set is created. Now what I need to do is attach to account derivation rules. So it is attached where account derivation rules. And what I have added here, location name, right? Input is what? Remember this input value. Input value is location name. Account derivation rule. New code, again the same value set name I'm using. Now here I'm not going to put, I will just say location. You can just see, I think your query will be solved here. Segment is property. Priority 10 and the list mapping set. So name of mapping set is this. So in this mapping set, what should be my input value? Deliver to location name. You see there are two things. Identifier ID is also there and name is also there. So either you map with the location ID to code. So there is one benefit that you cannot change the ID. You can update the name. So if you have updated name over there, so that means your mapping set will not work. If you right now in my case, if you change the location, so this is a message. Most of the time it used to come. I don't know why. The reason they used to say that this source here there is a value set attached, right? I have attached one value set, and here this is what delivered to location name. So both the things are not matching. If I had attached here DFS attribute 1 and the value set of both value set has matched, then this error message would not have come. But here in the system delivered to location name is a setup form. From the setup it is deriving the value, and I am taking it from value set. So that's the difference. So this is the error message. Coming back to the same thing, source. In the value set I put a location name. There is a high chances if the location name is updated, this value set will, this mapping set will not work. But if so to prevent this, I need to use the IDs. But now when I use the ID, when I go to mapping, I will get the name of IDs. There is a 401. So what is 401 ID means? Is Ahmedabad what? I don't know as an user. So there are the two challenges here. Saved. So rule is created. Now what I need to do is attach where journal line. Journal line definition. Which part? So here change the name. This is the old manual mapping which we have done. Just to check, let's just check it out. So it is without mapping set. So here I will override with the new one. As it is the segment name property and this rule name also has the property, I am able to attach. Save, and I need to do is validation. Anybody remembered some mapping? Mapping. Okay, I'm exporting. So completed. Business summary 1023. And the money rate is 406. Not it's, I think it's not global. It's a local for that particular operating unit only. What others are available? कौन से map है? Deep location is there, right? Save. And let's check fund for the first line. View result 405. So here the benefit of mapping set is, now if I want to make changes, do I need to make any changes in the account derivation rule? So that is independent of the derivation rule. And you can give this form to the user also. You can make changes here in the mapping set. In the mapping set, now he can make the changes and you will not be required to the validations. The limitation is there is no audit trail when it was enabled, when it was deleted. So the user enabled first, accounting created and he deleted thereafter. So better this access form is not given to the user, but the IT team, they will keep it with a track. That this is created, this is not created, changes are done as per the requirement. Okay, so that was with respect to the mapping sets. Yeah, sure. Okay. So with respect to this part, we have touched the generic methods of chart of account. We have done the chart of account based. So now coming back to our main question. How do you decide that whether in the given requirement I should use the chart of account based subledger accounting method or I should use a generic chart of account method? So what will be the criteria? In any given case, there is not possible that all the segments will have the qualifiers. So what you will decide?
All the multiple ledgers should have the qualifiers should be, for example, in my ledger, if my property is qualified as a qualifier, in the other ledger
Then, okay. So what are the benefits and limitations of each method? Yes, Sharif.
Limitations is generating there should be more than one.
Okay. Okay. So what do you prefer? What should be that requirement? Now tell me that I want to hear the requirement. What is this is the requirement, and then I will go with this. Now client will not come up to you and say, give me a generic or give me a chart of account base. So what is that requirement? Tell me, give me some example, this requirement, then we go for generic, or this requirement we should go for the chart of account base.
If the client wants to track the location going each of them.
Okay, now say for example 4 ledgers are there and 4 different chart of account are there.
So each is the way he wants to track the location, we can go for that. And for particular.
So now the question is, for them the natural account requirement is same, and for other segment the requirement is different. The cost centers are different for all the ledgers. Natural account derivation rule is same. Cost center derivation rules are different because the segment and value sets are different. So what do you suggest? 4 ledgers, 4 chart of accounts. COI based. So how it will be used? Rule for natural account is same, but rules for cost segment is different because they have different value sets and different segment altogether. In one chart of account, you can say the department is cost center, another chart of account, property is cost center. And one department and one ledger, you can say the product is cost center qualifiers. So what should be done?
Based on the qualifier and not based on the segment. So we can use generic for that. If they want to go dependent upon the segment wise, then we can go for chart of account.
What, Ahmad? Okay.
One case will be getting some property, but they don't want to be there.
We cannot restrict the value.
This is values.
For example, I'm having 10 values in my cost center. If I want to restrict those 10 values to 8, I can do that with the COA base, not in the
COA based also, how can you restrict?
the mapping set or
That's a different thing, mapping set. Mapping set is what input and output value. You can use it anywhere, right? In the DFF also you can put this is the value, this is the output, input output mapping. Using the custom source, set custom source we can create, right? Using the SQL query you can join anything. So now that also depends at the client environment how much access of database is available to you. You don't have database access, that means you cannot create the custom source. You need to go on to the mapping set. If you have the database access is available, that means you can create your custom source. So here the concern is the maintenance part. When you say the chart of account base, that means 4 times you need to create the same rules, 4 times you need to attach it, change it. Account rule is same, though my chart of account is different, so I need to create account rules 4 times. It will not be used the way I have used for this. Right? So that's where the limitations come. And when you go for generic, that means for the qualifiers for which, the segments for which qualifiers are not attached, you cannot use it, this method. So that is where the structure definitions becomes important. One chart of account or multiple chart of account. So these questions will resolve your answer. Whether do we need one chart of account or we need different chart of account. If it is a one chart of account, any method you use, it is going to be the same result. If it is a multiple chart of account with different value set. So the difference is because so the chart of account decision is dependent upon your FSG, mapping set, consolidation, and also on the subledger accounting method rules. So that's where we will decide what should be done. If there are certain values which is specific to one ledger only, so will we restrict it using the security rules, cross-validation rules, or we will create altogether 2 different value set and 2 different chart of account. What is the preferable solution? So all evaluations need to be done. So here the questions from your side. इसका output देखा कि नहीं? Have you seen what happened? 405. But SLA should be changed only when the seeded rules are not working. Most of the time, we know the changes in SLA, so we will not bother about what the seeded rules are. Sometimes some of the setup you change, by default, it will allow you to create the accounting. Just like for receivables, auto accounting, you need to map it properly. To design your auto accounting rules properly, you don't need to change the subledger accounting. Whether I should go for the transaction type or I should go with the memo lines. Where I'm not clear, that the mapping is not clear, then SLA needs to be done. So that means that's what I'm saying. But if it is required, then only. If you map it properly, you may need to create few more transaction types, or line types, or memo lines, or map it through the sales credit person. Okay, questions or no questions?
When we use a value set, there are 3 points: flexible, segment, and value.
That is on the chart of account base only.
Because of COA, we can use all 3.
Not all 3, only 2. COA value set is altogether independent of anything.
Yes. So we can use either flexible or segment or value set.
You can see this one is independent. This is nothing related with the chart of account. If I go specific, this is federal value. So what they have done is, this is a name of code. So use this code, account code and other mappings.
Then on all those segments where this value set is used,
Okay.
the impact of this. For all those segments where this value set will be used, the impact of this change will be seen.
This is the value.
Multiple chart of accounts can also be visible. If we
This
attach
is-
it to the value set, it can be used for multiple chart of account.
Now this is where how you map it, because you can see here I can select the value set. If chart of account is not selected, so I select the chart of account, this is getting disabled. This two is only enabled.